Welcome to 2024, decoders. Welcome to 2024, and this is my first live stream of 2024. So let me know in the chat if you guys can hear me and if you guys can see my screen clearly. I'm having computer problems. I told you guys my computer is almost on its last leg. So hopefully I can get through this entire live stream without any major hiccups. Welcome to the chat, everybody. I've got a doozy. I mean, this is just, I put the pieces together, guys. I mean, if I can get my pages to load here, then I'll be able to show you. Hopefully they'll load. I'm having some sort of issues loading certain websites on my computer, and I don't know why. But hopefully, let me just get into the chat for a minute, and hopefully this screen will load so I can actually show you what I want to show you. Just give it a minute. Anyways, let's see who's in the chat. Hello, Kevin. And hello, Desktop Geek. And Morgan, how you doing, brother? And Joshua. Kathy, I see you're in the chat. El Paculi. Juan Francis is in the chat. Looks like Donut Factory is in the chat. Big shout out to Donut Factory. I'm sure most of you guys know who that is. How you doing today, everyone? Let's see. Yeah, how you doing, John Montoya? So hold on, guys. Just give me another few more minutes here to hopefully have these pages load. Because like I said, my computer is an absolute joke right now. But so we know 2024 started off with an earthquake in Japan. And I'm going to show you guys how it connects with a lot of the things I've already talked about on my channel in prior videos. And I wanted to highlight another YouTuber really fast. So if you guys don't know who this is Jurassic Liars, Seattle 611, and Trump, okay? So he's another decoder on YouTube. And I want to give him a big shout out before I even get into this decode, because most of the Elvis information that I have picked up on is from him. And most of you guys probably already know who this is, but I can definitely not share this info without giving him a big shout out. And this is his channel if you guys want to go check him out. On this side here, I have a picture of my video I made 2 weeks ago on Matthew Perry, Las Vegas, and Elvis and the Super Bowl. You guys might want to watch that video because it's going to have a lot of connections to what I'm about ready to present. So yeah, those are the two things I wanted to get out of the way before I even get into the info. And yeah, so let's just try to jump in and let's just show you how crazy all this synced up was, right? So first thing, most of you guys probably already know that there was an earthquake in Japan on the first day of 2024, right? And the first day of 2024 also featured a hockey game called the Winter Classic. Now, they have this every year on New Year's Day. And basically, it's an outdoor hockey game. And it's a big, extravagant event. It's a big thing for hockey. And I just want to point out this game in light of the earthquake that was happening the same day in Japan. So I want you guys to notice that Elvis, okay, so the two teams involved in this are the Seattle Kraken and the Las Vegas Golden Knights, okay? Now remember, the Super Bowl is coming up. It's in Las Vegas. Elvis is known for Las Vegas, right? As a matter of fact, the Las Vegas Golden Knights are the defending Stanley Cup champions. That means last year, they're the ones that won the championship. So this game featured the Vegas Golden Knights and the Seattle Kraken. Both these teams are relatively new to the NHL. They just became teams in the last 5-6 years. And the Seattle Kraken is the beast out of the sea that beast, octopus, whatever you want to call it, that comes out of the water, and you guys probably know what I'm talking about. For those of you who don't, you guys can look it up. It's the octopus, the big giant octopus or squid thing with the 8 tentacles, right? And so what are the chances that Seattle names their new team the Kraken? And on the first day of the year, you have Seattle versus Vegas and the Kraken. And at the very same day, you have Japan having an earthquake. And what does an earthquake do? Well, it puts cracks in the ground, right? Kraken, cracks, earthquakes. All right. And what's funny about this game is the Seattle Kraken won by a score of 3-0. Okay. But before the game, the Golden Knights dressed up as Elvis. See, the whole team came to the game as Elvis. Now, Elvis has a huge connection to Las Vegas, obviously, but Elvis also has a huge connection to Seattle. And that's what I'm going to show in this video. And I'm going to make a case for a possible major earthquake in Seattle later this year. Has it connected to this game, and has it connected to the earthquake in Japan on the same day? So, yeah, let's jump in. So they come in as Elvis, and they face the Kraken in Seattle. This game happened in Seattle. Now, if you guys have ever seen the article called The Really Big One, just type in The Really Big One on Google, and you guys are going to see that this is an article about a big earthquake in the Pacific Northwest, okay? And they mentioned Seattle, right? So there's been lots of predictive programming about an earthquake in Seattle. And again, it's not a coincidence that they're having this game in Seattle on the same day as the Japanese earthquake, okay? So in this game, the guy who scored the first goal of the game, his name is Eli Tolvanen. Tolvanen, I think, how you say that. He's Finnish, and he's 24 years old, okay? So this guy scored the first goal of the 24th of the year 2024, okay? And he's 24 years old. And he scored this goal for the Seattle Kraken, which equals 24 in gematria, okay? Now, his name is Eli, kind of like Elvis. It's very close to Elvis. E-L-I-V. We're missing the V, right? And the S. So let me show you how this is coded in. So this guy who scored the first goal of the year 2024 for the Seattle Kraken, his name is 2 letters off from Elvis, okay? And the two teams came into the game wearing on their jerseys the last 2 letters of the word Elvis, okay? So I want you to get how crazy this is, right? Also, I want to mention that the 3 people who scored in this game, the 3 goals that were scored, if you add up the jersey numbers of these 3 players, 20 plus 3 plus 37, you get 60, like Kraken equals 60, okay? So what a joke that the Kraken start out the year winning the game 24, and the 3 players that score have a total on their jersey numbers of 60, okay? And we're coming up on the 60th presidential election, okay? Donald Trump equals 60. And yeah, there's a lot of 60s, but I don't want to get into that now. So anyway, take note that Eli or Elvis scores the first goal. And notice that the Kraken wear an S on their jerseys. So let me bring this up. Winter, Vegas, Golden Knights, Winter Classic jersey. So I want you guys to see what a big joke this is. So the Elvis connection I just told you is the first guy who scores the game, the goal in the game. His name is E-L-I. So you're only missing 2 letters in the word Elvis, right? Let me go back to him so you can see. His name is E-L-I. So we're missing the V and the S, right? Well, guess what's on the 2 jerseys of the 2 teams that we're playing? The V and the S. And notice they have it in exact order. That completes your Elvis, guys. E-L-I-V-S. VS. Do you see it? VS, Elvis. So the player that scores is coded, and the jerseys are coded with Elvis. It's just absolutely insane. Okay. ELIVS. Okay. So now let's make a connection between Seattle and Japan, because the same day of this game, you had the Japan earthquake. Sorry, guys. Hopefully this loads so you guys can see it. Again, guys, I'm sorry for this slow loading time. I can't seem to get my computer to load this. Yeah, I can't even. So what these pictures are showing is the Japanese earthquake that happened the same day as the Kraken game, right, in Seattle. And what this picture is showing is Kobe, Japan is the sister city of Seattle, okay? So the city Kobe. Now, you guys remember Kobe Bryant died just before the C virus came out, right? And he was buried in Corona del Mar. Kobe Bryant was. He had the 666 workout. He was known as the Serpent, the Black Mamba, right? And he scored his highest career points in his 666 game, and he died right before coronavirus, and he was buried in Corona del Mar, okay? Now, Kobe Bryant was named after Kobe, Japan, okay? His father loved the Kobe beef in Japan. And so he named his son Kobe after Kobe, Japan. Now, Kobe, Japan is the sister city. Let me just look it up because this picture is not loading. Sorry, guys, a little bit of hiccups, but I'm going to get through this. So Seattle and Kobe, Japan are sister cities, okay? And there was a very famous earthquake in Kobe, Japan in 1995. January 17th, 1995, there was a major earthquake in Kobe, Japan, okay? On the same day of this earthquake in Japan, on the first of the year, you had the Seattle Kraken, the sister city of Kobe, playing in Seattle, right? The Kraken. And Elvis was a big part of this game. I told you that the Vegas Golden Knights came out wearing the V on their shirts, okay? The V, right? Do you remember when Obama was in the classroom just last month, and on the back of the wall it said it's all about the V? Well, what does the V stand for? It could stand for the VIRUS, or it could stand for the VACCINE, right? The V. Well, another thing that I want to point out before I get more into the V is that Elvis was born on January 8th, right? And what's interesting is you had this Elvis connection at the very first day of the year, and then on Elvis's birthday. Now, please disregard this, guys. This says Tuesday, January 9th, but that's because I'm in Germany. So in the United States, this national championship game featuring Washington, do you guys get it? Seattle, Washington is in the national championship versus Michigan, okay? On Elvis's birthday. So Washington is in the national championship on Elvis's birthday, right after the season opened up with the hockey game in Seattle with the Elvis connection, okay? Here it is. Elvis was born January 8th. The game is on January 8th, okay? So let's jump into the numbers here for a minute. Let's just show you how this is completely synced up, right? So the 222 is a huge number. Why is that, guys? So from September 11th, 2001 to the declaration of the COVID pandemic was exactly 222 months. Exactly. Okay? And from the March 11th COVID pandemic declaration to the June 11th this year, and I'm going to tell you why that date's important in a minute, is exactly 222 weeks. So I hope you guys get how big this is. Because in Gematria, Wuhan coronavirus equals 222. The team that is in the national championship that's from Washington, where Seattle is, where the first COVID case was at. Seattle, right? Washington Huskies is the team. 222. Now it's all about order out of chaos, which is equals 222. And I found it interesting that if you type in West Coast tsunami, it also equals 222. Very interesting. And so what are the chances that from the 9/11 to the COVID pandemic was 222 months, and from the pandemic to June 11th this year is 222 weeks? And I'm going to show you why this June 11th day is so important to Elvis and Seattle, okay? And big shout out to Jurassic Liars, the YouTube channel, for having this date. He's been predicting this date for years, but I think this year is very likely that June 11th is a very interesting day. So let's talk about Elvis. So on June 11th, I just told you that the 222 lines up perfectly with June 11th this year. On June 11th, 1977, the same year Elvis died, there was a horse called Seattle Slew. Do you guys get it? Seattle Slew. That means to kill Seattle, right? Seattle Slew. It won the Triple Crown on June 11th, 1977. If you measure from the day this horse, Seattle Slew, won the Triple Crown to this June 11th this year, it's exactly 17,167 days. That's the 1977 prime. Okay? Do you guys get this? The horse won the Triple Crown in 1977. Elvis died in 1977. If you measure from Seattle Slew on June 11, 1977 to June 11, 2024, it's the 1977th prime number. Okay? How improbable is that? Hey, Joseph. How you doing, man? I'm glad to see you in the chat. Hope you're doing well, brother. It's good to talk with you. Give a big shout out to Joseph in the chat. Joseph Aquaviva 2222. He's been away for a bit, but glad to see him active. But yeah, 1977 prime between the Seattle Slew, June 11th, and this upcoming June 11th. Okay, absolutely mind-blowing. And don't forget, Elvis died in the year 1977, right? Seattle Slew won the Triple Crown. And remember, Elvis was known as the King. And King is a crown, right? Corona means crown, right? Elvis was the first ever celebrity to get the polio shot on live TV. So that brings me to my next thing. Again, big shout out to Jurassic. So Matthew Perry died last year on 10/28, right? That's Bill Gates' birthday. Elvis got the first ever national televised vaccination on live TV on Bill Gates' first birthday. He got the polio vaccine. Polio equals Elvis in 3 out of 4 ciphers, guys. Or yeah, basically 3 out of 4 ciphers. Elvis, polio. Elvis also equals water in all 4 ciphers. We're talking about water, the Kraken. All right. Now look at this. I told you Elvis was vaccinated on Bill Gates' first birthday in 1956, October 28th. Bill Gates equals 156. The horse that won the Triple Crown on June 11th, 1977, Seattle Slew, equals 156. Bill Gates is based out of Seattle, right? Now, notice that Elvis made a movie where the Elvis name is knocking over the Space Needle. Okay, the Space Needle. Do you guys get it? The needle. I don't know how much more clear it can be. Like the needle, his name is knocking over the needle. And if you type the word Elvis Space Needle, which is essentially what's on front of this cover, it equals 156, like Seattle Slew, the horse, and like Bill Gates, who's based out of Seattle. Okay. So, and don't overlook the fact that 156 is an important number because 911 is the 156th prime number. Okay, so it's a big number. So yeah, I just wanted to point that out about the Elvis Space Needle connection and how it's completely tied with Seattle, right? Now, again, I told you guys, these are the last two letters in the words Elvis, okay? VS. Obama was in the classroom saying it's all about the V. And notice that they had to put the V and the S, right? This is not their normal symbols. These jerseys were especially made for this game so that they could have the V and the S on their jerseys. Okay? And what does the word virus start with? It starts with a V and ends with an S. Do you guys understand? Virus or Elvis. Okay? I told you the guy who scored the first goal in this game, his name was L. And, you know, they're wearing the last two letters. So it's just crazy, man. This is the Kraken, right? Okay, so I talked about this in my last video, but you guys have to understand how big this is, okay? I told you guys, if you guys watched my last video about this wrestler, okay? He's a Japanese wrestler named Akira Tozawa. Last year in 2023, he was in a match with a guy named Bronson Reed twice. Okay. One on January 16th, which is June 11th, 116. Okay. The second one was on Ignatius of Loyola's birthday, the founder of the Jesuits, October 23rd. So two different times, Akira Tozawa, the Japanese wrestler, gets hit with a tsunami. The move that this guy does to Akira Tozawa is called the tsunami. If you guys watch these videos, you will see that this is the tsunami, okay? They were predicting this. And I talked about this in my last video, so if you guys are a bit confused, go back and watch that. But so there's two different earthquakes here, right? Two different tsunamis that I think are coming this year. The first one was going to happen to Japan, and it wasn't going to be a very big one, which is the one we already got. The second one is going to be a big one. See this, guys? So from the first one, Bronson Reed, the guy who delivers the tsunami move, his name went from Bronson Reed in the first one to the big Bronson Reed. Do you guys get this? Big Bronson Reed. The second one is going to be bigger than the first, okay? I can't stress this enough. I know it might be a bit confusing, but this is complete symbolism, guys. I'm telling you. I already predicted this earthquake last year with this number. And let's see how perfectly scripted it is. So this is the Japanese wrestler who gets the tsunami done to him in the ring. And from his birthday, July 22nd last year, to the earthquake yesterday in his home country, Japan, was 163 days. Earthquake equals 163, okay? Do you guys get that? 163 days after the guy's birthday, and earthquake equals 163. That means that 163 days after the Japan earthquake is June 11th, which is the 163rd day of the year next year. Again, earthquake equals 163. Do you guys see how perfect this is? Absolutely insane. And again, I decoded this guy last January before this earthquake happened, you know? Like, go back and watch my video from last January. I said that there would be an earthquake based off of this guy's, you know, these two matches right here, okay? Now, what's even bigger about this is this guy's birthday is July 22nd, which is 163 days before the earthquake in Japan. Earthquake 163. But if you go to his birthday, so just, okay, this is the big one, guys. Pay attention to this. This is why I know that they're planning something. They're planning something on June 11th, possibly in Seattle. Why? Because on the same day of this guy's birthday, the earthquake guy, Akira Tozawa, the Japanese wrestler, his birthday is July 22nd. On that same day, Taylor Swift was making headlines, and it was called the Swift Quake on his birthday, guys. On this guy's birthday in Seattle, Washington. She was in Seattle. And it says right here, Taylor Swift fans have reportedly caused a seismic activity on July 22nd in Seattle at Lumen Field, kind of like Lucifer, Lumen. Do you guys get it? I mean, how much more perfect can you get this? Like absolutely super perfect. Like I don't know what to even say anymore. So let me know in the chat if it's making sense. If it's making sense to you guys, and if you guys understand what I'm saying here, how all this stuff is perfect. We've had this Seattle game to start the year, and now we have this guy who has a birthday on the same day as the Swift Quake in Seattle. Okay. So June 11th, let me just bring up the dates here. So the reason that June 11th is connected to July 22nd is because it's the backwards day of June 11th. Notice that June 11th is the 162nd day of the year, and July 22nd is the day that leaves 162 days in the year. Okay? But next year, June 11th is the 163rd day of the year, and earthquake equals 163. Okay? Again, I showed you that back here with all the 163s. Okay? Earthquake 163, June 11th, the 163rd day of the year. This guy, there was an earthquake in his home country 163 days after his birthday, and 163 days after the earthquake in Japan is June 11th. Okay? Don't forget that June 11th is the upside down of 9/11. Okay? 9/11, if you flip the 9, you get the 6. Okay? June 11th, 9/11. Barack Hussein Obama does equal 163. Yeah, and Barack Obama also equals 116, which is also connected to June 11th. I believe that Jurassic Liars is right on about the Trump, Obama, and Elvis connection. And yeah, I mean, I just want you guys to see how perfect this is with the whole Elvis connection. And remember, Matthew Perry, he's a big part of this puzzle too. He had 2 movies. He had a movie about Vegas and the water breaking in Vegas. Do you guys remember my Fools Rush In video? I'll go back to the beginning to show you that. This video, guys, I made 2 weeks ago. I showed how Matthew Perry, he was completely connected to Las Vegas and a water ritual, because in the movie Fools Rush In, his wife gives birth to a baby on the Hoover Dam, right? Which is all about a birthing ritual, birthing of the ushering in the Antichrist, ushering in the New World Order, okay? So again, hopefully you guys understood all this, how perfectly it synced up with Elvis and the vaccine. But let me go over the gematria real fast. I want you guys to notice also that in gematria, the gematria of earthquake is a direct match to Seattle, and it's got the 107 and the 44. So not only did I make all these connections to Seattle and earthquakes, I also have a gematria connection because Seattle equals earthquake, 107.44. Okay. And let me go to the next one. So I told you guys that it was all about the V, because the Vegas Golden Knights were wearing the V on their jerseys. Obama was in the classroom. Behind him, it said it's all about the V. So V is the 22nd letter. Elvis equals 22, okay? The guy who scored the first goal in the Kraken Seattle game was Ellie, which is very close to Elvis. His name also equals 22. V is the 22nd letter. Elvis was the first person on live TV to get the V, okay? I see Joseph's in the chat posting about the 192. The 192 is also important to this. Yeah, I might talk about that in a bit, but let me go back. Let me just make a few other points here. So I told you that the Winter Classic was the game between the Seattle Kraken and the Vegas Golden Knights, right? And I told you that, you know, the Seattle Kraken were wearing the V, or sorry, the Vegas Golden Knights. Let me get to it. Yeah, guys, my computer just froze as usual. I hope it'll actually load here. Yeah, so anyways, Vegas was wearing the V for the vaccine. It's all about the V, right? And so this is connected to the vaccine, right? So coronavirus equals 155. Now this game took place. It's called the Winter Classic. Notice that Winter Classic equals 155 like coronavirus. But also notice that the team that won the game in Seattle, the Seattle Kraken, also equals coronavirus. Remember, Seattle was the first place to get, was the first city that we had a coronavirus case. King County, which also connects to Elvis. Elvis was known as the King. Okay. So again, that's why the coronavirus and the Winter Classic are connected with Seattle, and that's why they were part of it. Okay. Again, this is the Winter Classic. The Seattle Kraken won. And the reason that they won 3-0, guys, I'll show you why. In Gematria, if you type out the number 3, it equals 56. So let's look at the 56 for a minute. So I want you guys to notice that at the Winter Classic, the final score of the game was 3-0. So there was only 3 goals in the game. And if you type out the number 3, you get 56. Kind of like Winter Classic. There was 3 goals in the Winter Classic, 56. Kind of like coronavirus, 56. And that's connected to the Society of Jesus, 56. Okay. Washington, D.C. equals 56. Mind control, 56. Toilet paper, 56. Remember the mind control tactic with the toilet paper? And toilet paper equals mind control. And Washington, D.C. and Society of Jesus and coronavirus, all the 56s, right? Remember, Elvis got his polio vaccine on live TV in 1956. Right here. Elvis gets his polio vaccine on Bill Gates' birthday in 1956. Bill Gates equals 156. Notice that the year 1956, if you drop the 9, which is the repeater number, every year in the 1900s had a 9 in it. But if you drop the 9, the only 3 numbers left is the 156. And notice that Bill Gates equals 156, like Seattle Slew. Seattle Slew was the horse that won the Triple Crown on June 11th. Okay. So Seattle Slew won the Triple Crown on June 11th, 1977. And that was the 1977 prime number days before this year's June 11th. Okay. Hopefully that makes sense. And again, here's Elvis knocking over the Space Needle. If you type in Elvis Space Needle, it equals 156, like Bill Gates, like Seattle Slew. So, yeah, I think that's it, guys. Well, let's go back to the gematria. I think I might have had a few more things for you. Notice that hockey equals Elvis, and the hockey game was what started off the year. Yeah, thank you, Joseph, for adding the 156s. As Joseph is saying, if you type in the number 666, it equals 156, like Bill Gates. Okay. And as above, so below, which is a common phrase they love to use. That equals 156 and 222. That goes perfectly with my 222 connections. Again, this one's big, Joseph. Did you see this? I don't know if you were here when I showed this, but you're always talking about how September 11th 2001 was exactly 222 months before March 11th, the pandemic, right? So if you go from the pandemic on March 11th to this June 11th is 222 weeks. I don't think that's a coincidence, guys. I'm telling you that right there in itself should make you perk up, because they did this ritual exactly 222 months apart, and they're thinking about maybe doing another one 222 weeks apart, right? And look, the team that's in the national championship this year equals 222. They're from Washington, Seattle, Washington. Okay? And look at this, guys. I don't know if this means anything, but West Coast Tsunami equals 222. Okay? And I've already made plenty of connections about the tsunami that happened and how they were having a game in Seattle the same day as the Japanese earthquake on the first day of the year, guys. Okay? And again, the Wuhan coronavirus, the very first case in the United States was from Wuhan to Seattle. Okay? All right, so much more to say probably. But I'm just pointing out the clear connections that are definitely here. The ritual with Elvis, okay? The ritual with this Barack Obama movie. Did you guys hear that there was explosions under New York? Let me just see if that comes up. Oh, and the Kobe Bryant thing, I forgot to mention. Remember, Kobe Bryant, he died. The sister city of Seattle is Kobe, Japan, right? And Kobe died on 126. And the word earthquakes, well, first of all, Barack equals 126. So that's interesting. Joseph is always hitting with the Barack connections, but Barack equals 126. Kobe died on 126. Okay. And the word earthquakes equals 126. Notice the Japanese wrestler who was connected with the earthquake, his name, Akira Tozawa, is a match in 3 out of 4 ciphers to earthquakes. So, yeah, Gianna Bryant also equals 126. I forgot that. His daughter, Gianna Bryant, who died with him, equals 126, right? And they died on 126. Yeah, New York does equal 156 to go with the other 156s I talked about. See you later, El Paculi. Thanks for tuning in. So, anyway, I was talking about Kobe. So Kobe's sister city, is Seattle. And again, it's all connected, guys. It's all connected. It's all a big ritual. And don't forget, the Super Bowl is in Las Vegas this year. There's a lot to talk about the Super Bowl, but I'm not going to get into that here in this video because it's a whole nother can of worms to open up. Yeah, the V and the S could mean a lot of different things. I mean, there's a reason, guys, that they love the V and the S, okay? The VS. Again, I told you it was connected with Elvis, or the virus. Virus starts with a V, ends with an S. Okay? I mean, I'll type it in so you guys can see. Virus, V and S at the end. I wanted to bring up another thing with the 82s. If you look at the 82s, you're going to see that COVID equals Seattle equals Vegas Golden Knights. Remember, the Vegas Golden Knights were wearing the V for the vaccine, right? So, we know that vaccination equals, if you spell it right, vaccination equals New York, and it also equals 666 in Sumerian, right? So, and what is Las Vegas known for, guys? It's known for Sin City. I mean, what more city would connect with the 666 than Las Vegas? And they were wearing the V. Does 82 equal 666? Okay. Thanks, Joseph. Interesting. So yeah, in reverse gematria, 82 would equal 666. Thank you for that one, Joseph. So then again, that's how it's connected to COVID. So 82 equals 666. And vaccination equals 666. And 82 is the number of Seattle and COVID and Vegas, you see? So 82 is connected with this. What was I going to talk about? I was going to bring up something else, guys. Oh, the Swift Quake. Remember, the Swift Quake was in Seattle, but you also had the Beast Quake, okay? So this was back. Let me just pull up this article here. So just like COVID started in the United States in Seattle, I mean, is there going to be another event in Seattle first, right? So look at this article, guys. Seahawks Beast Quake or Taylor Swift Quake. Which one was the bigger one? So Taylor Swift had the Swift Quake this year, right? In Seattle. But back in 2011, Marshawn Lynch, a running back for the football team of the Seattle Seahawks, had what they called the Beast Quake, okay? And of course, we know the beast is all connected to this too, right? The number of the beast, 666. And yeah, so this is the Beast Quake. It happened on Elvis's birthday. Again, guys, January 8th, Elvis's birthday. The Beast. And look at the attendance, guys. 66336 for the Beast Quake, right? Of course. So basically, this is 666 and a 33 combined. That's how many people supposedly attended the Beast Quake in Seattle. Yeah, there was an 82 on the COVID pill. I remember that. The Merck pills had the number 82 on them. Yeah, that's a good one. Good memories, Joseph. Merck 82 pill. Let me see if I can bring that up. Yeah, see this, guys? On the COVID pills, they had the 82 on them. COVID equals 82. Right here, Seattle, where the first case was, equals 82. And they had an 82 right on them. And 82 equals 666 in Sumerian. If you type it out. 82, 666, like vaccination. So yeah, definitely a lot to say here. Someone in the chat saying that Biden turns 337 Mercury years old this month on 119. Really? Wow. Yeah, well, I have a date that I'm going to be presenting in one of my next videos that I'm watching for with Biden, but I won't talk about that in this video. Yeah, Joseph, just wait till you see what I found on Obama and the Biden thing. I found a huge connection with the 666 and a date coming up next month in February. Whew, another big connection. So let me jump into a chat a bit here. I see server bots in the chat. Welcome. 22 divided by 7. Racer X. How you doing? Birdie Bear. Amanda. Thank you guys all for coming along. And what a start to the year 2024, right, guys? I mean, oh, I was going to look up the explosions in New York City. I forgot. So we just had Obama's movie about New York getting bombed. And I think it was yesterday on the 2nd, there was reports of explosions underground. And we know that these earthquakes are actually probably done by causing explosions, guys. I mean, or some sort of weapons. Yeah, so here's the headline, guys. Explosions and shaking on Roosevelt Island caused by New York City earthquake. So all these earthquakes, guys, and I believe that earthquakes are tied to the birth pains, right? When in the book of Revelation, it talks about the birth pains, the earthquake, right? So this year is starting out with all kinds of earthquakes. To me, it sounds like it's the birth pains of the woman in the book of Revelation. I think that's what this is connected to. And yeah, I mean, obviously we know it's not natural, right? Because they're so controlled. So this whole year is starting off telling us that there's going to be a birthing ritual. And we got to watch out throughout the Super Bowl because remember, I told you in Matthew Perry's movie, his wife gives birth near Las Vegas, where the Super Bowl is, and she gives birth on the Hoover Dam. And the Hoover Dam is full of water, right? A water break. So, yeah, California. Okay, so you had California have an earthquake this year that everyone was talking about. You had the Japan earthquake, and then you had a New York City earthquake. And the New York City earthquake is very rare, okay? And that happened yesterday, okay? So it says a rare earthquake shakes parts of New York. New York City gets hit with a 1.7 magnitude earthquake on Roosevelt Island. I wonder where that KT Cleans a Lot guy is. He's always talking about Roosevelt. I'm sure that he can find a connection to this earthquake. I kind of want to bring that guy on the channel. If you're out there, KT, I want to bring you on the channel to talk about your Roosevelt connections because I know you have a lot of really good connections. But yeah, so notice that the earthquake was in New York City on Queens and Roosevelt. So yeah, and the earthquake was a 1.7, kind of like earthquake equals 107. And if you drop the 0 out of earthquake, you get 17. So it was a 1.7. But yeah, I mean, so yeah, lots of shaking going on. Didn't Elvis have well, Elvis was known for shaking his hips, right? So yeah, I mean, isn't there a song called Shaking Going On or something like that by Elvis? Does anyone know? Isn't there a song like that? I don't even know what I'm talking about right now. I just remember a song with that lyric. Oh, that was by Jerry Lee Lewis. Okay. Hey, he died last year, Jerry Lee Lewis. Oh yeah, good one. Elvis had the song All Shook Up, right? Shaking. So Elvis and the earthquake in Seattle maybe all shook up. But Jerry Lee Lewis, the interesting that I thought about that, guys, Jerry Lee Lewis, whole lot of shaking going on. He died on 10/28, Bill Gates' birthday. Look at this. The date I was just talking about with Matthew Perry and with Elvis getting the vaccine. Remember? He was known as the killer. Jerry Lee Lewis, known as the killer, the Great Balls of Fire, right? And he died on October 28th. The same day that Elvis got the polio vaccine, the same day Bill Gates was born, the same day Matthew Perry died. And yeah, he died in 2022 on October 28th. And Julia Roberts' birthday too, and she was just in the movie Leave the World Behind. So yeah, a whole lot of shaking going on, guys. Great balls of fire. Makes you feel like something's gonna. Are they gonna say an asteroid fell out of the sky and caused a tsunami or something? Who knows? I always thought about that with Jerry Lee Lewis. He had the song "Great Balls of Fire," and it always reminded me of like asteroids, right, falling out of the sky. And I have no doubt that this has a connection. Let me see what that equals. Great balls of fire. Oh, will you believe it, guys? Great balls of fire equals 156, like Bill Gates. And he died on Bill Gates' birthday. Huh. And remember, guys, 9/11 is the 156th prime number. So this is a huge number. just so you guys can see this. 911 equals the 156th prime number, okay? Jerry Lee Lewis, his song Great Balls of Fire equals 156. Like Bill Gates, right? Like Seattle Slew, the horse that won the Triple Crown, 156. 666 equals 156. And yeah, so yeah, don't yeah, I mean there's definitely a lot of connections here. Let's see what you guys are saying. Does the Antichrist Barack Obama equal 666 or 156? Yeah, it equals 156, doesn't it? Interesting. And 222, of course, a number I also talked about. So yeah, no coincidence, guys. All these things sync up perfectly. You know, you guys know by now. You guys have been watching enough of these channels to know. Yeah, so there is that ring of fire. You know, they call it the ring of fire. It's a big ring where earthquakes can happen. So if you look into it, this is connected to Seattle and Japan. Right? So I fell into a burning ring of fire, right? The song by Johnny Cash. Remember, we had the Ring of Fire eclipse last year on October 14th. But just look at this picture, guys. So this is what I believe is what they're hinting at, okay? So you have this Ring of Fire and you have Seattle up here, right? And you have Japan. Of course, you have California. You have the west coast of South America. And then you have all these islands out here. They call this the Ring of Fire. It's an earthquake-prone area, right? So I have no doubt that if there's a great earthquake that they talk about in the book of Revelation, I think that it involve this. It honestly looks like, you know, and don't forget that a ring is a crown, guys. An O, a circle, is a crown, right? Corona, ring. Lord of the Rings, Saturn. But definitely something to look out for. It's called the Ring of Fire, also called the Pacific Ring of Fire. I'll have to look more into this. I mean, just imagine if they cause some sort of big earthquake that hits like all these different places at once, man. I mean, that would be crazy. I don't know if they're going to do that, or if God's going to do that, if God himself is going to make an earthquake like that. Did Johnny Cash tour with Elvis and Jerry Lee Lewis? Yeah, so they're all connected, of course, guys. Yeah, the weather's very bad here in Germany too, guys. The weather's just crazy right now. Lots of weather manipulation. If we get a clear day, as soon as we get a clear day, they're spraying immediately. They don't want the sun to be out very long. Yeah, guys, I think that's all I want to talk about. Any more things in the chat? If you guys, I'm going to stay on about another 10 minutes. So if you guys have any other additions, please leave it in the chat. But yeah, all about this connection, guys. And here's what I was showing you before is the connection between Seattle and Kobe. And Kobe, Japan had a major earthquake on January 17th, 1995. Yeah, Rick James, you're going to have to be on the ground reporting to us about Vegas. I know that you're actually in Vegas. And Rick is saying there was an orange sky this morning in Vegas. Man, yeah, just stay safe there, Rick, because who knows what kind of rituals they have planned for the Super Bowl there. Okay, yeah. Let's see. Very interesting connection by 22 divided by 7. Yeah, and watch this game, guys. This game that's coming up on Elvis's birthday with Washington versus Michigan. I still haven't figured out the Michigan connection. Does anyone have any good reason why Michigan is tied to this vaccine Elvis Seattle thing? I don't know why Michigan is there, but it's obviously a reason. I just haven't figured it out yet. Yeah, that's the song I was talking about. Super awesome is the Johnny Cash song "Ring of Fire." That's connected to this earthquake zone called the Ring of Fire. But yeah, if anyone has any connections with Michigan, please let me know in the video or in the comments. And if you guys would please hit the like button, smash that like button, as they say. Get the likes up here for me. I'd appreciate that. And if you guys want to support the channel, buy me a coffee. The link is at the top of the chat here. If you guys are wanting to support the channel, that's greatly appreciated. I appreciate all of you who have supported. Shout out to all the supporters. Interesting about the Kobe beef thing. There's probably a lot of connections to the Kobe beef because that's what Kobe Bryant was named after. Kobe beef. Yeah, many blessings to you all. So if there's no one else that has anything else, I just wanted to give a big shout out to Joseph Aquaviva. Big shout out to Rick. Thank you for moderating. Also, big shout out to all of you guys. Birdie, Shyla, Racer X. I saw Donut was in the chat earlier. Big shout out to Donut. You guys probably know his channel, Donut Factory. He's a big YouTube channel. I feel pretty grateful to have, somebody like him watching my videos. Appreciate that. And thanks again, Joseph. I hope to see you soon back on the video, or just hope everything's going well with you. I'm sending lots of prayers and love. So yeah, guys, I think I'm going to get off. I hope you guys have a good rest of your day and rest of your week. Hopefully I can do more live streams. My computer was actually working with me today, so I was actually able to do this, thank God. And but if I have to quit doing live streams, it's because my computer it died. So look forward to that, Joseph. Look forward to have you back. Everyone go give him a Joseph Aquaviva 222 a sub if not already. Okay, so yeah, guys, that's it. If you guys want to support the channel, please go donate to Buy Me a Coffee. And if you guys want to also support the channel, hit the like button. Big shout out to my girlfriend for taking care of me. Yes, that's a good one, Rick. And yeah, we'll see you guys very soon. I don't know when the next live stream will be, but I'll see you guys very soon. And I send much love. God bless you all. See you in the next one.